certain aspects which are given cross-reference from Bhagavad Gita. The 8th chapter, which is specifically focusing on one point, Prayana Kale. The auspicious time when a devotee quits his body, or any person when he quits his body, what happens to him? What is his destination? So Prabhupada explains in some of the purports the context of what is this Uttarayana. The word Ayana means path or going. The 6 months when the sun travels towards the north are called as Uttarayana. And the sun when he travels towards south, it is called as Dakshinayana. So for us, how do we have day and night? For the, like Amavasya, Paurnima is day and night for the higher planets next to us. They are Pitarlokas. And for Swargaloka, the Devatas in the Swargaloka, for them this Uttarayana and Dakshinayana is like day and night. So that's how the Samvatsara is calculated. The first day when the sun begins to move north and enter the zodiac sign, Capricorn, is called as Makara Sankranti. The Sankranti festival what we celebrate, January 14th or 15th. This is as per Suryamana calendar. The date is fixed. In Chandramana, there is a 10 days difference in every year. That's why once in 3 years we will have Adhika Masa to comp of both calendars. So for us, Ugadi keeps changing every year. But for Suryamana calendar, April 14th is Ugadi. That is fixed. Every month changes, 14th to next month 14th is the change of month further. For us, in Chandramana, it keeps varying. In a year, they have 365 days, we have 356 days. That's why 10 days short. So once in 3 years, we will have Adhika Masa, so that again the calendar comes back to normal. And first day of the sun, when it begins to move south, is called as Karkataka Sankranti. That comes around July 15th somewhere. So Jan 15th to July 15th, 6 months. That's the changeover happens. Most of the time, that is a time where we do Chaturmasya period. For us, the 4 months of Chaturmasya period will start. It starts from Shayana Ekadashi, where Lord goes to sleep. And when Lord wakes up, Uttana Ekadashi, Lord wakes up for his sleep, for 4 months he sleeps. So that 4 months we practice it as Chaturmasya. And these are the 2 days which are recommended to perform Shraddha ceremony. Yearly once when people perform rituals for their departed forefathers, this is the recommended day. Uttara Sankranti and Dakshinayana Sankranti. So one more place, this elaborate description is given in Baladev Vidyabhushan's Vedanta Sutra. We all see in 8th chapter of Bhagavad Gita, when a person passes away in the daytime, in the fiery planet, in the Uttarayana, in the Krishna Paksha, Sukla Paksha, there is a description given. So what does that reference to? How it will help a person to quit his material body and go to the heavenly planets, or beyond that heavenly planets to reach to the spiritual world. So that is described by Baladev Vidyabhushana. He says, between earth and Satyaloka, there is a standard path traversed after death by transcendentalists and highly elevated persons. The path from this world to the higher world. This is called as Uttarayana path, as is mentioned in Bhagavad Gita 8.24. The various personalities what we come across are Archis, the Deva of light; Dinam, the day of the day, the Deva of the day; Sukla Paksham, the Deva of the bright fortnight; Uttarayana, the Deva of the northern progress of the sun; Samvatsaram, the Deva of the year; Devalokam, the world of the Devas, as Vayuloka; or Vayu, the world of Vayu; Adityam, the world of the sun; Chandram, the world of the moon; Vidyut, the world of the lightning; Varunam, the world of water; Indram, the world of Indra; Prajapati, the world of Lord Brahma. This is as per Vedanta Sutra. What it describes, when a person quits his body, he will be accompanied by one personality and he will be left at the next sphere. Like Archis, he will take us and he will leave it at the next place, Dinam. Then Dinam will leave us at the next place, Sukla Paksham. And Shukla Paksham this is like escorting you to the next destination. On the process, there are many milestones. So each one will drop you at the next milestone and they will come back. But you will be accompanied from here to the spiritual world, up to Satyaloka. So this is what, when a yogi quits in Uttarayana with all favorable occasions. So Baladev Vidyabhushana mentions the various items refers not to landmarks on the path, but to various demigods who make arrangements for the passage of the soul. So they are all accompanying us at one particular point in our passage of the soul. And the eclipses which occur during Uttarayana, they affect the upper class, while eclipses they occur during Dakshinayana, they affect the lower class of people. Upper class means Brahmanas and Kshatriyas. They are affected by Uttarayana eclipses. And in Dakshinayana, whenever eclipse comes, they affect Vaishyas and Sudras and others below people. So this is some references what we get from Vedic astronomy. The differentiation in Uttarayana to Dakshinayana. Now Bhishma Deva spoke about a subject, about occupational duties. This was the same question which was asked by Maharaj Yudhishthira to Narada Muni. He wanted to understand the various personalities, various understandings, the divisions of society. So we'll get to know what was his perspective. Shri Yudhishthira Uvacha Bhagavan Shrotum Ichchami Nrunam Dharmam Sanatanam. He's saying, my dear Bhagavan, O Narada Muni, Shrotum Ichchami, I desire to hear. Nrunam Dharmam Sanatanam, that religious principles which are eternal for people in general. Varnashrama Achara Yutam, and which is divided by Varna and Ashrama Acharaha, the characteristics of Varna and Ashramas. Yat Maman Vindate Param, by following which a person can achieve the highest destination. Vindate Param. Further he says, Narada Muni starts describing about the perspective. He says, Dharma Moolam hi Bhagavan Sarva Vedamayo Hari. The dharma, that religious principles are devotional service. Dharvam Moolam hi Bhagavan. The root for devotional service is the Supreme Lord. Sarva Vedamayo Hari. And all the Vedas, the essence of all the Vedas is Lord Hari. Vedesya Sarver Ahameva Vedyaha. From all the Vedas, I am to be known. Sarva Vedamayo Hari. All the Vedas describe only Lord Hari. Smritam cha tad vidam rajan yena cha atma prasidati. O Rajan, my dear King Yudhishthira, yena cha atma prasidati. When you remember all these personalities, Smritam cha tat vidam, and the memory of great authorities as described by them about this subject, once you understand all this perspective, yena cha atma prasidati, one's mind, soul and even body becomes satisfied on the basis of these religious principles. And what he says, there are general principles to be followed by all human beings. There are common duties, there are specific duties. First we will understand what are the common duties for all human beings. It says, Satyam Daya Tapas Saucham Titiksheksha Samodamaha. Satyam, truthfulness, everybody have to be truthful. Not only Brahmana should be truthful, everybody should be truthful. Daya, compassion. Tapaha, austerity. Saucham, cleanliness. Titiksha, tolerance. Samaha, control of mind. Damaha, control of senses. Ahimsa, non-violence. Brahmacharyam, celibacy. Tyagaha, renunciation. Swadhyayaha, self-study. Arjavam, simplicity. Santoshaha, self-satisfaction. Samadruk, equal to everyone, equality of vision. Seva, surrendering service. Gramyeho uparamaha, free from all materialistic association. Shanaihi, every moment. Nrunam, those people. Vipraya iha ikshaha, maunam atma vimarshanam. Viparyayeha ikshaha. Then observing the futility of unnecessary activities of human society, maunam, silent, atma vimarshanam, and grave and avoiding unnecessary talk, annadhyehi samvibhago bhutebhyascha yata arhatah. So, distributing of food equally to all living entities, considering whether one is the body or the soul, no discrimination, distribution of food to all living entities. Teshu atma devata buddhihi sutaram rushu pandavaha. So, seeing every soul, especially in the human form, as a part of the Supreme Lord, Shravanam Kirtanam cha asya smaranam mahatam gatehe. Shravanam, hearing, Kirtanam by chanting, Smaratam by remembering, Mahatam gatehe, achieving the higher destination, to serve the great personalities, Mahatam gatehe, by serving them. Seve ajvanayatir dasyam sakyam atma samarpanam. So, by rendering service, by performing worship, offering obeisances, becoming a servant, becoming a friend, then surrendering oneself completely. Nrunam ayam paro dharmaha sarvesham samudarhataha. And these are the duties for all human beings. Sarvesham, not for any specific section of people. See, good qualities can be trained in everybody. Specific duties can be trained in person according to his characteristics. So, the society, when it is divided, people have to be trained in all religious general good qualities. Trimshal Lakshavan Rajan Sarvatma Yena Tushyati. There are Trimshal, there are 30 qualities. Shishi Radha Govindaki. And which have to be acquired by every human being. Trimshal Lakshavan Rajan, O my dear King Yudhishthira, all these 30 qualities have been practiced or acquired by all general people. Sarvatma Yena Tushyati. Because the earlier question was Yenatma Tushyati. By here, Yudhishthira Maharaj, Narada Muni is saying, by attaining these qualities, everybody will become satisfied. And then he starts describing about Varnashrama Shishtam. First he describes about Brahmana. A Brahmana has 6 duties, which are Patana Patan, Yajana Yajan, Dana Pratigraha. These are the 6 main occupations of Brahmana. Patan Patan, learning, teaching. Yajana Yajan, worshipping and being worshipped. Dana Pratigraha, accepting gifts, giving in charity. These are the 6 main duties of a Brahmana. A Kshatriya should not accept charity, but he may perform the other 5. And a king is not allowed to levy taxes on the Brahmanas. Brahmanas are beyond taxation. But he may make his livelihood by levying minimal taxes, custom duties and penalty fines upon other subjects in the society. Mercantile men should always follow the directions of the Brahmanas and engage in occupational duties as agricultural, trade and protection of cows. And the Shudras, the only duty is to accept a master from a higher social order and engage in his service. Become faithful servant of higher orders. These are the specific, in essence, duties of Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya, Shudra. Then elaborate description of a Brahmana. Samo dapas tapas saucham santoshaha kshanti rarjavam jnanam daya achyutatmatvam satyam cha brahma lakshana. These are the specific qualities by which a person is ascribed to be a Brahmana. Satyam, truthfulness. Dama, control of senses. Tapaha, austerity. Saucham, cleanliness. Santoshaha, satisfaction. Kshantihi, forgiveness. Arjavam, simplicity. Jnanam, knowledge. Daya, compassion. Achyuta atmatvam, complete surrender to the Supreme Lord. Satyam, truthfulness. Cha, Brahma Lakshanam. These are the prime qualities of a Brahmana. So, any human being, when he possesses all these qualities, he will be given a status called as Brahmana. Brahmana is a position. It's a qualification. It's not a birthright. The Vedic system divides. Krishna says, Chaturvarnya Maya Shishtam Guna Karma Vibhagasha. This entire society is divided based on Guna Karma. He did not say on birthright. According to the qualities what you have, guna, and karma, by activities what you do. Next, for a kshatriya, what are the qualities? Shauryam, Viryam, Dhritis, Tejas, Tyagascha, Atmajayah, Kshama, Brahmanyata, Prasadascha, Satyamcha, Kshatra Lakshana. So then, Shauryam, to be influential in the battle, Viryam, unconquerable, Dhrutihi, patient, Tejaha, challenging, Tyagaha, charitable, and Cha Atmajayaha, conquering the bodily necessities, Kshama, to be forgiving, Brahmanyata, to be attached to Brahmanical culture or to be serving Brahmanas, Prasadascha, and to be always jolly, Satyamcha, and to be truthful, Kshatra Lakshana. These are the qualifications of a Kshatriya. Then Vaishya, Deva Guru Achyuta Bhaktis Trivarga Pariposhanam Astikyam Udyamo Nityam Naipunyam Vaishya Lakshana. Then serving, always being devoted to Deva, the demigods, Guru, the spiritual master, Achyute, unto the Supreme Lord, Bhaktihi, by devotional service unto these three people, Trivarga Pariposhanam, and maintaining the other three sections. See, food is generated by Vaishyas, but the food is consumed by Brahmana, Kshatriyas and Shudras also. So he generates the food for the Trivarga Poshanam, other three Vargas also to be maintained. Then Astikyam. Astikyam means believing in the words of the spiritual master and scriptures. Udyamo Nityam, always endeavoring with expertise in earning money. Naipunyam, they are very expert at business and understanding and generating money. Naipunyam. Cha Vaishya Lakshana, expertise, it is endeavoring with expertise in earning money. Udyamo Nityam Naipunyam. Anywhere you leave them, they will survive off. That is their capacity. And not to say something wrong, but there are one section of people, Marwadis. For them, language is not the barrier. Anywhere in any part of the country you go and leave them, they will do the business and they will survive very nicely. And one more Lakshana is, one person is there, he will bring the entire village from there and they will make one more village here. They are so expert. See, that's what Vaishyas mean. Their business is like that. Naipunyam. They are very expert in thinking in how to develop money. But problem is, what happens when you have this money mentality, you can never think of God. Bhogaishwarya prasaktanam taya apaharuta chetasa. There was one businessman who worked his entire lifetime in earning money. Finally, his son said, now retire, go to pilgrimages, spend your time in spiritual perspective. They used to bring various sadhus. They used to preach to their father, but father was always never inclined. Finally, they gave allurement to one great sadhu. They said, if you can change our father, we will give you a huge amount. So because of allurement of money, he also took this challenge. He took him to all pilgrimage places, but everywhere there was no change. He is the same personality. Finally, when he came to Kashi, after having darshan of the Lord, Kashi Vishwanatha, they came outside. There is one place called as Harishchandra Ghat, where continuously dead bodies are being burnt. So when he saw that situation, he sat down and he started crying like a small baby. Then Sadhu thought, at least some change has come now. He understood the destination, whatever you earn might be, this is the thing what we are going to die. Then he started asking that rich man, why are you crying? What is that which made you to renounce this mentality? He said, I am not mentality of that anything and all. I wasted my whole life. I thought cloth is a very good business because continuously cloth gets torn and people will come for that business. But I saw here continuously so many dead bodies are there. I would have put wood business here. I would have been much more richer man. See, that mentality you can never change. Spirituality, whatever you do, Karela, you take every place, it will be Karela only that. So that is how people with money mentality can never become devotees. Unless and until they give charity. That's why Krishna says, three things are compulsory. Yajna dana tapak karma pavanani manishina. Yajna, by service to the Lord, worshipping the Lord. Dana, by giving charity. Tapaha, by taking austerity. They purify the personalities. Why dana will purify? How dana can purify? See, when you work hard, that hard-earned result, whatever it comes, we say when somebody is successful, when he earns so much money, you go and interview him. What is the secret of your success? What does he say? What does he say? My hard work. He takes, I am the cause of this phala. He is very much attached to that phala. Because of the too much attachment, there is every chance that we may lose our ultimate destination. Because attachment will lead to sense gratification. Or because of too much miserly nature, he will earn to somebody to enjoy that. He will not enjoy that, whatever he has earned. Somebody will spoil it and destroy it. So here what happens when too much perspective in that will take him away from that Krishna consciousness. So but dana, when you give your hard-earned wealth as charity, you will start renouncing that possessive mentality. So when you start renouncing this material possessive mentality, you become closer to the Lord. And there is one more way. If you think in a businessman's perspective, this is an investment. If you give to a right person, whatever you donate will come back in a different way for the next life. This is like a bank where you invest and in the next life you withdraw. The Shastras say dana should be given to a qualified person. Apatra danam you should never do. Unqualified person, if you do, what happens? Whatever money you give, it will come back in the same proportion. What is that? Newton's third law? Equal and opposite reaction. This is apatra dana. But spiritual dana, whatever it says, if you give to a half qualified Brahmana, for every 1 rupee you will get 10 rupees back. If you give to a fully qualified Brahmana, for 1 rupee you will get 100 rupees back. If you give to Vishnu or a Vaishnava, you will get unlimited times back. That's why people always go and deposit in Srinivasa's hundi, so that they will get unlimited times back. They are all very intelligent. They know how to do, what to do. They know who is capable person, where to say, what to come back. So these are the qualities of a Vaishya. Then qualities of Shudra, what does it say? Shudrasya sannati sauchyam seva swamini amayaya amantra yajno hi asteyam satyam go vipra rakshanam. Shudrasya sannatihi sauchyam. The one more qualification for the Shudra is sannatihi. He is offering respects to the higher classes. Then sauchyam, cleanliness. Seva, swamini amayaya, without duplicity, serving his master. Seva, render service. Amantra yajno hi asteyam. So when he is taken, he can visit places where sacrifices are held, but he should not chant the mantras. Asteyam, one of his primary qualities is he should not steal. Then satyam, truthfulness. Go vipra rakshanam, giving protection to cows and brahmanas. These are the primary qualifications of a Shudra. So in this way what happens, Shastra has given description of every category of people. Now there are descriptions of what woman has to do and what the lower classes of people they are supposed to do. That is the primary what Bhishma Deva spoke about the subject, because when a king, he has to be equipped with all kinds of knowledge, because in his kingdom all categories people are there. He has to see that everybody is following their respective duties. So unless he knows what they have to do, how he will be able to guide them in their functional personalities, performances and all. That's why king has to be fully trained in all these subjects. That's the point what Bhishma Deva was training the next successor, Yudhishthira Maharaj. So finally about this yogis leaving the body, what Bhagavatam says, Stiram sukam chasanam astito yatir yada jihasur imam anga lokam kalecha deshecha manona sajjayet prana niyachen manasa jitasuhu. So he is saying, O king, O anga, Yada yatir jihasuhu. When a yogi desires to leave asuhu, this life here, imam lokam, this human planetary system, when a yogi desires to quit his material body, na sajjayet manaha, his mind should not be perplexed. See, when the mind is dissatisfied, again you are bound up in this bodily concept. His mind should not be perplexed. This is the qualification for a yogi to quit his body. Na sajjayet manaha, then kalecha deshecha, about the proper time or place he should not bother. But sukam asanam astitaha, he should comfortably seated in a asanam astitaha, should comfortable seat, he should be seated. Then stiram cha, without being disturbed, and jita asuhu, by regulating his life air, pranayama, by controlling his life air. Then prana niyachen manasa, he should control the senses by the mind. Then focus on the Paramatma, and while thinking the body, the life air, from the lower chakra, it has to be rise about to Adhisthana chakra and quit from there. This particular part is called as Brahma Randra. So when the yogi quits from this hole, then he will be going to the higher destination. But when they quit from any of the 9 holes, our body is Navadvare Purede. Our body has 9 holes. So when they quit from any of the other holes, they are bound within this material world. That's why most of the time people don't know the perspective. When we go to, anybody has gone to crematorium, when a body is being burnt, they'll wait till that last point when this Kapala Moksha, they say. When the skull breaks, they think at that particular point, the soul has left the body. But the soul has already left long back. That's why we took him to the burial ground. It has gone away from some other holes. And when a person is mostly sinful, his soul is taken away from the anus part. The Yamadutas pull his soul from the anus part. And that's why most of the time when a person was about to quit, when he sees that Yamadutas and all, he will be primarily be very fearful and he will be passing stool and urine continuously. That's the point that he is understood that he is about to die. And he has seen that personalities. So like for example, there are certain occasions when you see the dogs will be crying in the night at one particular point. They will be making a sound which is very odd. It is said that when you hear that sound, they see some supernatural personalities like some Atma, ghost or something like that in that area, or they have seen some Yamarajas, Yamadutas there who have come to take away a living entity there. They are very subtle and they can sense these things prior to our capacity. So like that, there is some of the perspectives how yogi has to quit his body. Now, our Bhishma Deva becoming ready to quit his body. That subject will be discussed in the further verses. Now we will understand about the Vaishnava perspective, how to handle various personalities. This is in the life history of Jahnavi Mata. So when she visited Vrindavan, so she was going through various places. On the way, when she was on the way reaching to Vrindavan, one day she read at a village, which is a huge village. She saw all the people, the residents, they were all in the very wretched condition, and she reflected how to deliver them. See, Vaishnava's compassion, whenever you see somebody suffering, you want to elevate their suffering. You want to give them the highest perspective. Because most of the villagers are pashandis, offenders and atheists who are accustomed to ridiculing Vaishnavas. So that evening, then envious group saw all the Mahabhagavatas who came to worship Jahnavi Mata. The pashandis started like deriding in a very bad word, abusive words. So they started complaining, they saying, this wife of a Brahmana started drawing everybody's attention. One person said, these Vaishnavas are ignorant, therefore they are bowing down to a human being instead of bowing down to some devata. Another person said, if Chandi gives her mercy, then only they will be able to understand the glories of Chandi. Then another person said, how these foolish people will understand? Neither this wife of a Brahmana nor the Brahmins with her have offered worship to goddess Chandi. These Vaishnavas have committed an offense to the goddess. So they started laughing among, they started making critical jokes on the Vaishnavas' way of serving the great personalities. And in the evening they went to the temple, Chandi Devi temple, and they started saying, they offered respects to Chandi and they said, This very night we shall kill them all these people. Only if they worship your lotus feet, then their body, mind and words, they can be saved. Or else we are going to sacrifice. So saying these words, they all went back to their home and they started sleeping. When they slept, Chandi Devi became very angry. She did not want this mistreatment to the Vaishnavas of the great highest order. She immediately appeared in their dreams and she gave a stern warning. Do you know whom are you talking about? That great lady, she is the wife of great Nityananda Prabhu, who is my master Lord Balarama, who is the most compassionate person, most merciful person in this world. And you are trying to say she is Mahalakshmi herself, like Balarama's wife in the Lakshmi category. And you are trying to say she does not know the truth? You people are foolish, you don't know the truth. You don't know I am the servant of Lord Balarama. So, Maha Vishnu, Balarama, the same incarnations, I am his servant. So you have done a greatest offense by criticizing the Vaishnavas. Now, unless you go and beg at her feet and take subordinate position from her, I am going to kill all of you by next morning. Then everybody got up in fear, their body is sweating, they are all wondering what happened. They immediately, early morning itself, they ran. They saw their Jahnavi Mata with all her associates there. They went and fell down at the feet and they started praying, offering respects. They said, my dear sir, my dear madam, please forgive me. Forgive all of us, we have done a great offense. We could not recognize your position. And they started offering glorifying prayers. They said, Nityananda Priyam Prema Bhakti Ratna Pradayinim Shri Jahnavi Ishwaram Vande Tapatraya Nivaranim. This is the sloka which was narrated by Chandi, the Pranama mantra for Jahnavi Mata. I worship Shri Jahnavi Mata. She is the wife of Lord Nityananda and the giver of jewel of Prema Bhakti. Prema Bhakti Ratna Pradhayinim. So she eradicates the threefold miseries of material existence. Tapatraya Nivarinim. By surrendering unto her, we become free from all these three material modes perspective. So they offered this prayer, what was taught by Chandi, and they begged forgiveness from their offenses. And they turned to the Vaishnavas and they said, see, if you have to achieve mercy of the superior personality, the servant should be satisfied first. So unless you recommend and you forgive us, Mata will not be forgiving us. So as soon as they prayed with their hearts and with their soul and they surrendered completely, then all the Vaishnavas became very happy and the Jahnavi Mata became compassionate on all of them and gave forgiveness for all of them. And they all with a changed heart, they started becoming Vaishnavas and they engaged their life in spiritual perspective. Similarly, then she started further. Continuing her journey, she stopped at another village near a river, sacred river was there. In that village, there were a group of Yamana dacoits. And as soon as there are many spies, they were all waiting for people to loot. So one of the spies saw there were many group of Vaishnavas passing on. So they thought these are the people mostly with rich wealth and all. So we should capture them and we should kill them and we should loot them and we should make our livelihood very nicely. Then he said that all these people, what are they doing? One person was always in constant touch. What are they doing? They settled down in the village, they are doing Nama Sankirtana, then they honored Prasadam, he was narrating what and all they are doing. They thought this is not the time, in the twilight is not the time, when it becomes midnight, dead night, dark. Then we will go approach them, we will kill all of them and we will loot all the money, whatever they have. So they were all waiting till the midnight to come. When the midnight came, the spy came back and said they are all sleeping very nicely. So now it is time for us. They all started walking with the main leader, taking all their weapons and they started worshipping their devata for auspicious things. When it is a short distance from their location to the place where Jahnavi Mata and all her associates were sleeping. They started running. They started running so fast that entire night they were running, but they were never able to reach the destination. Whole night they were running. It would have been that they would have ran up to Vrindavan also, but they never reached the destination. In the early morning when it was about, the twilight was again about to be seen, they all thought, the main owner thought, no, now if we go, people will become visible. So we will all be caught. They ran away from their respective heights. Then they thought, what happened to us? Whole night we have been running. We would have been made like, we would have run some Olympic race and we would have won some, that category, something like that we have run. So what happened? Then they thought, I think they are their superior personality. So we are being outnumbered or outfooled. So something like that, some devotional perspective came in their mind. Immediately they came in front of Jahnavi Mata and they begged forgiveness from her, and they said what we are, what we have been doing, how they have been torturing people, how they have been looting people. But by taking her name, a solace came in their personalities. They all became transformed their mentalities, their body, mind experience. Just by that vicinity, by that atmosphere, they're all a divine person. They all became a divine-like personality. Sattva-guna awoken in them. They all came, they begged forgiveness, and they explained their situation, and they said, because of you, touch with you, we have become purified, and now we have surrendered unto you. So they all became Vaishnavas by the mercy of Jahnavi Mata. They changed their profession. They all started engaging in the service of the devotees. Whoever were passing by, they were all providing all the necessities and all. So in that way, see how a Vaishnava can do a compassion for you. So what is this occupational duties? To achieve the higher destinations. By serving these Vaishnavas, one can achieve this higher destination. This is what we were being taught through the lives of these great Vaishnavas. So by serving the great personalities, Mahat Sevan Dwara Mahur Vimukte, Shastra says. By serving great personalities, the Vimukti Dwara, the door to liberation, becomes open. Tamo Dwaram Yoshitam Sangi Sangam. But if you serve unqualified persons, those who are interested in sense gratification, only the doors of hell are open. So we have to be very careful whom we are serving. So we should take guidance from the acharyas, and we should practically follow all the principles as enlightened by the scriptures and Guru and Sadhu and Shastra. Then we are assured of going back home, back to Godhead by following the principles. I'll stop here. Any questions or doubts?
Happens, Prabhu, transmigration of soul, how the soul exactly leaves the body.
In the 8th chapter, there is a description given. Like 15th chapter also, that point is elaborated. At the last moment of the life, whatever we remember, that we become in the next life. Yam yam vapi smaram bhav. So based on our karma, based on our activities, and based on our thinking, Bhagavatam 10th canto gives one example, like when you see that small creepers like worms, how do they walk from leaves to leaves? How do they walk? Like when you are walking, how do you walk? Unless you fix your front foot, then only you lift your back foot. So by your actions and by your thinking process, you fix the next body, then you quit this present body. So based upon our work, karmana daiva netrena, by superior division, then we will be given a respective body, and transmigration happens in that perspective. Like for example, whole life I have been thinking like a cat or a dog. The last moment I will become a cat or a dog. The next life I will become a cat or a dog. Whatever I have think. Now my karma comes into picture. If I have done good karma, I will become a cat or a dog in a rich man's house. If my karma is bad, I will become a cat or a dog on the roadside.
One more question, Prabhu. Prabhu, the Bhagavad Gita, various places describes about soul, that it lives in the heart and details. So in other species like trees and they don't have bodily structure like us. So how from them the soul quits and where it is situated, Prabhu?
So for every living entity there is a heart position. See, if you say, where do you stay in your room? You stay in a room. It doesn't mean that exact pinpoint location. It stays in the heart region, it says. So for every living entity there is a position, and that position is that specific region where the jiva stays there. And Paramatma accompanies him. See what happens, living entity is of one nature, spirit soul. Material body is of a different contrasting nature, Jadavastu. So how living entity which is spiritual in nature will be able to control this Jadavastu? Both are different dimensions. So Paramatma is the intermediary function. He works like a catalyst. So whatever the jiva desires, Paramatma accepts, and he instructs the material nature to perform that activity. That's what Krishna says. 18.61, what is that sloka? Yantra rodani maya. So I am there, this yantra. So this is working under my direction. As Paramatma, he guides every living entity. What has to happen, what it has to support, how the jiva has to be supported. See, there are certain, like now, when you cut a tree, the scientists have recorded the experience of the tree, what it goes through. So it doesn't mean that it is a blank personality. They have emotions, but only thing is we cannot perceive that emotion. It is said that the experiment has been done. 2 plants were taken. One plant was abused left and right, morning till night for certain days. The another plant was given all good talks. The plant which was abused died off within that time, and the plant which was given all good thoughts flourished very nicely. So what does this mean? So they also have senses, they also have perception. Recently one scientist had done one research. See, early morning the birds chirp. What time does what was the earlier alarm for us? Hen. Hen was the alarm for us. What time will it make sound? Brahma Muhurta time, before around half an hour before Brahma Muhurta, around 4 o'clock they'll start crowing. So all the living entities, all the birds, by 5 o'clock they are ready. What are they trying to do? What are they making that sound for? They are like the alarm clock for all the trees to wake up. They are saying, all the trees, be wake up, the sunrise is about to come, be ready from the day point, from the initial sunrise itself, you can capture your maximum energy and you can derive maximum benefit out of it. So one scientist, he had done a research, he found out the frequency, what these birds chirp was like Vedic sounds. Mantra Ucharana we do early morning, Nama Japa we do. It is in the same frequency. Traditional Carnatic music or traditional music, it is in the same frequency. So he started playing that music to his cornfield at early morning 4:30. So people, other farmers thought he is a crazy person. He is playing songs early morning, Shastriya Sangeeta to cornfield. Generally, what will be the height of corn when it comes out? Around 6 feet, 7 feet. How many corns you will get per one plant? 2 corns you will get. This is how the standard. Third one if you get, that will be a dwarf one. The capacity of one corn tree, you will have 2 big ones and 1 dwarf one. So, and you would have expected how much his corn would have come out? It grown to 16 feet. And each tree had 10 to 12 corns. So, see, why we are asked to get up at Brahma Muhurta and why we are asked to chant. If a corn tree is able to deliver so much thing, then how much we can deliver? So we can learn from nature, we can learn from all these perspectives. So this is a way how you have to see the things, because we have not been trained. We all want practical proofs. But only thing is, there are many things beyond our perception, which we cannot understand. But Shastra has already these things and all. That's why the nature has been designed in such a way that everything is taken care very nicely by the will of the Lord. So we have to just follow that. Okay? So stop here. Gandhara Srimad Bhagavatam ki